I'm re-recording this shit because I ain't putting enough energy in the first one. Round 2. So, boom. The episode starts off with Kaz and Oliver, or as we better know them as, Gabe Duncan and FLETCHER. I don't even know this nigga last name. They're both in the comic book store talking about what superpower they'd rather have. But me, personally, and you too, what we're choosing is money. That bread, that cheddar, that dough, that root of all evil. That's what we are choosing. You can never go wrong with that one. After they're done chatting and chopping it up, they spot one of their friends named Jordan playing the game and killing unicorns while looking like Marv from Home Alone. We are the Sticky Bandits, face ass. Kaz then starts talking to her and brings up a group project that they have at school. Jordan was under the impression it was just the 3 of them in the group, but finds out that Kaz and Oliver added a 4th named Gus because nobody wanted him in their group and they felt bad. Jordan ain't fucking with this because she say he a weirdo and he smell like fish, which she got to be another type of weird when her homeboys over here taking imaginary photos with rocks straight off of Etsy. She makes them agree to keep Gus away from her, so they agree and walk off, and Oliver sees a cardboard cutout of a female hero named Skylar Storm. She's Oliver's superhero crush, so Kaz picks up the cutout and starts shoving it in his face, trying to make him kiss it.
Pause.
But Oliver tells him to put it down because the store owners don't like them touching things. But when Kaz puts the cardboard down, tips over and hits a toy gun, which fires and knocks down the hanging UFO from the ceiling, trapping them both inside of it. So they then head off to the hospital to get it removed. But while they're there, Kaz spots a dude who looks crazily similar to one of the heroes he be reading about. And that guy's heading to the janitor's closet. Kaz, of course, goes in after him and forces Oliver to come with him. Oliver tells him that shit's fake. Superheroes ain't real. And he's tired of being dragged along. Tired. Kaz expecting him to follow him. But Kaz ain't hearing none of that. And he makes him follow him into the closet.
Pause.
But when they get inside, nobody's there. So after Oliver trolls him by saying he turned into a roll of toilet paper, they decide to leave. But while they're about to go, they trip and pull a plunger, which makes a scrambled code pop up on the wall. Oliver then sees the code and is familiar with it. He then deciphers it with ease, and the hidden door appears and opens. They then walk in and realize they're in a hospital full of superheroes, same ones they be reading about in the comics. While they're standing there stunned and in disbelief of what they're seeing, a dude in a wheelchair roll up and shoot a whole rocket out his nose and it hits the UFO they were trapped in, breaking it and setting them free. And as they're just standing there, even more stunned by the mean-ass snot rocket that was just shot their way, a dude named the Crusher is brought in on a stretcher, not responding and going in a cardiac arrest. The doctors try shocking him back to life, but none of it's working. Kaz and Oliver then figure out, since these heroes are real, the comics must be too. And Oliver remembers that the last comic of the Crusher had him on a planet with extreme gravity, which might have pulled his heart down to his feet, which don't make a lick of sense, but we're gonna pretend like it does. So Kaz hops into action and shocks Crusher's feet, waking him up instantly. Even though they just saved dude's life,
I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
They get the guards called on them. Hold up. Did I just see what I think I saw? Rewind this shit back. Ah, hell nah. Look what they did to my boy. Gave him this old Walter Jones ass hairline. They must have something against him because Kaz is straight. Dude behind him shit straight. But they gave him this old rounded ass lineup with this weak ass C cup he got going on. Yeah, they must have really had something against him because the guard that popped up right after got a straight hairline with no problems in sight. And justice for my boy background character 37. Get him a better barber. Anyway, back to the video. They get the guards called on them because they're not doctors and they're also 15, so there's that. So the guards then put them in an empty, dark cafeteria where certified, prestigious, Ivy League, grade A, goofy named Alan tries to scare them, but Kaz and Oliver not on bad timing, so they start shaking in their boots. But Alan's uncle Horace, who's also the head of the hospital, walks in and cuts the lights on, exposing the cornball that Alan really is. Horace then asks the two what their powers are, but when they say they don't got none, King Goofy over here starts talking crazy, calling them normals, trying to put them in a normal cage. Crazy. Yeah, I know what type of man you are. This was a different time. He definitely would have been using a different N-word. But Horace then freezes him while he tries to go get one of those normal cages. Hold on, I can't even go past this. Why do they have normal people cages? It's just a regular occurrence of people just entering the hospital. To be honest, it's not that hard to get in. Solve little one easy ass puzzle a kindergartner can do and you're in. They really need to update this shit. And do they just have a room with a whole lot of normal people in cages? These questions that need to be answered. All right. Let's get back to the video. After freezing Island, Horace then asks Kaz and Oliver how they knew how to save Crusher. Oliver then explains to him that they are huge comic book fans and they know almost everything about him. Horace then tells them they could use someone like him, but not Kaz, because he's clearly a dumbass. And I ain't gonna lie, he got a point. I didn't even mention all the brain dead shit he's done so far, but let's go ahead and list that off. And that's just what he did up to this point. They ain't even going over everything in this episode. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have him working there either, even if I was the one getting paid. But I digress. Back to the episode. After Horace says he doesn't want Kaz, but Oliver, instantly on his W-man shit, then insists they're a team and it's either both of them or none of them. So Horace tells them he'll give them a chance, but they can't tell anybody about Mighty Med, which is the name of the hospital, which I'm pretty sure I forgot to tell you. And he also tells them if Kaz messes up, he's holding Oliver responsible. So after Kaz almost kills Oliver, we cut to the next scene of Horace giving them a tour of the hospital. Kaz asks an important question on why doesn't anyone even know about Mighty Med. Horace then tells them they erase the minds of those who find out. And Oliver asks a follow-up question. If everything's a secret, why are there comic books? And Horace lets them know they write about everything that they do just to fund the hospital and pay their heroes. Right after, he then hands them some mini AirPods to be able to call them when he needs them. He then dips out, leaving two random kids who just stumbled upon a top secret hospital unsupervised. That's definitely a good idea. But Skylar Storm walks in. You know, the hero, cardboard cutout Oliver was fiending over. She then tells them some villain called the Annihilator took her powers, her costume, and left her stranded in her underwear. And you already know Oliver was tripping over that. Goon brain, clock ticking on when that comic book dropped. But she then also tells them that she came to Mighty Man to try to get her powers back, which definitely ain't finna happen this episode. So we then cut to the next day while Kaz and Oliver's at school. Jordan walks up to them talking about keeping Gus away from her, but like a pimple, he just pops up out of nowhere looking like 2010 Justin Bieber. Really got his whole fit on. And what's the first thing he does when we first meet him? He just takes a fat ass whiff of her hair and asks if she using a new shampoo. Meaning this ain't his first time just coming up and smelling her hair. Can't have hoboys like this around the hoes. He's scaring them away. Jordan was obviously tripping over Gus doing all this weird stuff around her. But then out of nowhere, boom, he pop out bread in her face and she gets all smiles, smelling the money and everything. So while she's standing there admiring the money, Kaz and Oliver get called to the hospital in the middle of school. So they try to make up a quick excuse for why they gotta leave them hanging on the project. And Kaz dumbass tells them Oliver's grandma's house is on fire. And Oliver just gives them that look when your homeboy says something that makes you ask yourself how he even made it out of kindergarten with this type of brain power. But anyway, the excuse works and they head out to the hospital. When they get there, they find out a villain named Megahertz hurt a hero named Tecton by shoving a stop sign to his chest. And we find out that Horace just called him there to ask them if they want to see the surgery go down instead of actually do anything. And of course they agree and decide to flake on their friends with helping them on the project. Up bad niggas. Cut back to Jordan and Gus working on the school project. Gus got Jordan tripping, so she calls Kaz saying she needs their help with the project and they need to finish it in 3 hours and it's only halfway done. But when she tells them to hurry and hangs up, she sees Gus broke the whole thing down by trying to sit in it and she dips off pissed as hell. Back to Kaz and Oliver. They go into the operating room with Tecton passed out on drugs with no one else in the room, and we got Kaz over here touching and contaminating everything. They then start talking about Tecton's powers and Kaz mentions he can heal himself. So he comes to the conclusion that if they take the stop sign out, he's just gonna heal himself. So in all his infinite wisdom, he takes the stop sign out of Tecton's chest, expecting him to heal, but he doesn't. And when they realize this, they realize they got a problem. And then that's where we're hit with the meanest to be continued. So yeah, that was the episode. Hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'd give that episode a 7.5 empty Sunny D bottles out of 30. Good show. I definitely say it's good on a rewatch. Not something I'll pick up if I didn't already watch it as a child, but it's a good show. reminiscing and all that good stuff. But yeah, let me know if you want any more. Let me know any shows or even movies that you guys would like me to check out. Appreciate you for watching. Catch you all later. Get him a better barber.